Hi, everyone. I'm Leslie Davenport, and I'm very excited about my upcoming trip to Romania in April. I'm looking forward to learning more about the wonderful work that I hear is happening there. And I'm also going to be sharing my work in some public lectures, so I hope you'll be able to join me. There are a few topics. One of them is on transformation. In other words, how does change really happen? How can we shape ourselves, live our lives in a way that's really meaningful and fulfilling? Part of the way to that is to have greater access to a form of intuition and clarity that lives inside all of us, but is really underutilized in our contemporary Western culture. But there are some very reliable maps and methods to tap into that. And when we do so, and we bring it into our awareness and integrate it with our other ways of thinking and knowing, with our logical and cognitive minds, it's a much more powerful combination. So the talk will include some background on the origins of this inner knowledge and on its current applications in medicine and psychology and sports and the arts. But most importantly, I'm going to be providing you with the tools, the way to tap in directly so that you can immediately begin to utilize the benefits in the shaping of your own life. And another big topic is going to be the psychology of climate change. Because as we more and more awaken to the urgency of what is happening in the world around us, we are all going to need a deeper way to remain resilient, grounded, open, clear in our actions and in our relationships. So again, I'm going to be providing tools for that, but I'm also going to be describing the collective consciousness that has put us on this destructive trajectory and provide insight into ways we can all participate in making this deep and very necessary shift. So it's going to be an exciting time, and I hope to see you there. There's information below on the times and locations. See you then.
A blessing for the journey. When days rush past in a blur, may you pause to receive the simple gifts that life generously offers. When you're overwhelmed, may you rest in the gentleness of your own heart. When you're feeling hopeless, may your imagination hold a torch to unseen possibilities. When your mind is drowning in details, may spaciousness arise, connecting you to the sacred mystery that you are. When you're exhausted, may you be refreshed by vibrant life forces always present within and around you. When you're overcome with grief, may precious tears bathe your heart with salty buoyancy and comfort. When the world brushes you with harshness, may you realize that we're all works in progress and life itself is a learning curve. When nothing seems to be going your way, may you make room for the unknown, finding patience with your unfolding life. When you're disheartened by the suffering in the world, may you find the courage and strength to stand for what you know is good. And when you believe that you're not good enough, may you discover your inherent value and place in the family of all things. May you receive Earth's bounty to nourish your body, kindness to nourish your heart, wisdom to nourish your mind, and wonder to nourish your soul.
To nourish our soul, thank you, dear Professor Leslie Davenport, for coming in Romania. I'm grateful for this to Alexandra Postelnicu and Pachamama.
Yes.
In fact, to the voice of our heart and the voice of nature. Through you, we may hear better what's in us and what is calling us in a way. Professor, you are teaching in one of the most interesting institutions from the States, the California Integral Study. How it is the
California Institute of Integral Studies.
Yes. But this is not your first choice. You have an artistic background.
Yes.
Do you wish to share with us some landmarks of your journey?
Sure, I would love
Please.
to.
Thank you.
I would love to, because even though it may not seem that related, it laid the groundwork for how I approach the work I'm doing now. So I started with a love of dance that began when I was very young, and decided to pursue that through an education and eventually a professional performing life, modern dance and ballet. And what I loved about it was not the notion of entertaining, but that it was a form of communication, sometimes deeper than words. And it allowed a vehicle for qualities and states of mind and states of being to be expressed that no matter what the verbal language could communicate directly. And it also was teaching me about those inner connections. If I was feeling a certain way, what did my body want to do? Did it want to leap? Did it want to sink to the floor? And so I started to learn how those are all interrelated. And then there came a point in life as I had children and was making some lifestyle changes that it didn't make as much sense to be a professional dancer. But I still was fascinated about these interconnections and communication and listening within. And I actually took a few years asking, how can I best serve? I could maybe do education
What a
or
question.
medicine.
We have to ask ourselves on a certain moment this big
Yes.
question, how to serve.
And it was a very interesting process because I felt willing to go in many different directions. And it took a couple years, and I got a very clear message to go where I'm drawn, go follow my bliss, because other people are doing the same thing. Don't worry, there will be people in education and in medicine and in politics and in education who are all following the same thing. And
Yes.
it will be this opening, the soulfulness will rise. So that's when I decided to choose psychology as a natural way to keep exploring. But decided if I did it focused on people with health concerns, that the relationship between our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, and health and illness would be a really fruitful way to offer instruction and learn more. So I actually launched a program in a traditional hospital that grew over the course of 25 years. I didn't know that's what I was going to do. Became one of the largest integrative health centers in San Francisco, the Institute for Health and Healing. And we bring together traditional physicians with acupuncture, homeopathy, Ayurvedic, psychotherapy, massage, bodywork, all as ways to support someone to connect with their own empowerment and their own health.
A remarkable way of being together and serve together.
Yes.
Homeopathy, Ayurvedic medicine with psychotherapy.
Yes.
You have to understand that traditions are the roots of what's happening now in modern times.
Yes.
So it's not something primitive and...
Exactly, and I was so excited by the coming together because those, have existed as individual practices, but to have it under the roof of a traditional hospital was very exciting too. The kind of the new next generation, the next era of integration. So I did that for 25 years, and then I had another chance to reflect. And I said, well, I'm becoming more and more aware of a bigger healing need as it relates to our planet and the species, all the species on the earth and what's happening to the environment. And I thought, well, this model, so many factors of this model will serve. It's the best in science and it's internal and intuitive. It's collaborative, it's interdisciplinary. It builds community, it's empowering. And that's when I began to bridge toward the climate psychology work that I'm most involved in now.
Yes, impressive and quite new, and it's so integrative.
It really was this natural unfolding. I could never have thought of it. I couldn't lead with my mind, but I was listening, paying attention, and I received the guidance for where to go next.
So, in brief, there are things happening now to our Earth,
yes,
which scientists are 95%, as you said in the conference in Spirit Heart University,
yes,
and you will have also another conference tonight in Spirit
yes,
Heart University. 95% of the scientists are agree about with what?
Agree that human activity is causing climate change by the lifestyle choices we have.
The choices.
Yes, the
important
choices that involve the use of fossil fuels that create a kind of pollution that is warming the earth. And as the earth warms, it's creating a lot of changes. Flooding and droughts. And the scariest part is that we're on a very fast trajectory unless we act decisively and clearly and make a transformation, that there's just going to be intensification of the things we're experiencing now. There's already what's being called a sixth extinction phase.
So if you are sitting and looking to the TV and zapping and so nothing interesting about Earth and something,
yes,
within what expected time will be the extinction? Plus, of course, plus minus, but it's not so after 2,000 years.
That is correct. It's not. There's different predictions,
yes.
And it also depends how quickly we respond.
Yes. But if we will not respond, if we are continuing the same thing, and this is human,
yes,
to do all the things you know, nothing new, and okay.
Right. One thing I've heard, it's a hard question to answer, but one thing I've heard is that by 2050, things could be very, very dire.
So this generation,
Yes.
within 20 and 30 to 33
Yes.
years.
And part of this is that areas of the earth are experiencing it at different paces. So for example, in parts of India and the Middle East, and I can say this in Fahrenheit, so I'm not sure what the Celsius is, but it's been hitting 127 degrees Fahrenheit, which is much higher, and edging on becoming unlivable.
Unlivable, yeah.
Unlivable. And there's areas where, like island nations, like the Maldives, where the waters are rising to the point that people are being forced to migrate. Even in the US, there's very little press coverage, but the United States government has paid for people living in an area of Louisiana, one of the southern states, having to move because they were raising their own food, and now it's too much salt water to grow food any longer. And their homes are getting moldy. So it is happening now. No. But if you don't live in an area where you're immediately feeling the impacts.
It's just a story.
Yes, it just sounds like a story. But the biosphere we live in wraps our whole Earth, and it's only a matter of time before impacts are felt everywhere.
This is quite dramatic news, and we have to receive it like this. We cannot stay and say, as somebody in the conference also, but you see, the corruption is much more important than those nature issue. But it's not correct.
Well, they're not separate.
Yes, yes, you can, of course.
Because, you know, we were talking about humans causing this, right? And so what is our awareness of how we're connected with nature? How we choose the food and the waste or not, or the impact that we all have, our carbon footprint, it's often called. That we're all contributing to varying degrees, and there's a lot we can all do to begin to reverse that. Yeah. But I think another important part to what you're saying is that it's such big news and it's such hard news, that it's emotional news.
Now, climate psychology.
Yes, because it's really hard to hear some of the things that are happening and some of the things that are likely to be occurring. It really can feel overwhelming. It's easy to feel kind of powerless in the situation. And so psychology can offer tools to build resiliency, to help us process the feeling, because emotional pain has a message. We can't move away from it. It's telling us that something we love, something that is important, is being damaged, is being hurt. And so it's important to pay attention to. It's like if you were driving a car and the signal light came on about the engine, you don't want to just keep driving and ignore it. You're like, okay, what's this message? What am I hearing? And it's, we all need to grieve a little in order to move through that and feel empowered to be part of making a difference.
Yeah, about transformation and change.
Yes.
And how can we be conscious of
Yes.
this? Otherwise, having, I don't know, sleeping with the same old area of phenomena in our mind. And
yes. And it's really about how interconnected we are. You know, we get so busy, we all do, in our daily lives. We kind of have these blinders on,
yeah.
And we all have a lot we have to get done and take care of and stress. But it's really about everything we do is in relationship to the air we breathe, to the food we eat, to each other, to the earth. And if that became a part of our consciousness with whatever work we do, it would begin to guide our actions in a different way.
So we may help Mother Earth with each small gesture that we are doing in our daily life.
Yes, yes. And we can even think of everything being something that would promote health or something that would detract from it. So that if we bring more consciousness to the choices that we make. And some of it's really simple. It requires thinking ahead, but like, you know, even disposable coffee cups. We love our coffee, but we can bring our own that's reusable and reduce the amount of waste. Or with water, refill filtered water rather than so much plastic, which a huge amount of it ends up in the ocean. We even with the recycling, there's a lot that ends up in the ocean.
Leslie, you are one of the most important explorer of deep imagination processes. So please tell us a few words about this field of and the tool that we may use with ourselves and others.
Yes. One of the first things I think that's important to understand when we use the word imagination, we might think that that's like a fantasy where we go away. We just imagine something that's ungrounded. And sometimes that's true. But what I'm talking about and what I teach is a way to tap into our inner creativity. It's been a part of humanity since the beginning of time. It's not a new thing. It just has sort of a new name. But every culture around the world has had a way of listening within. So it's related to meditation and contemplation. It's related to hypnosis and visualization. And it takes us to a way of knowing that is more soulful and provides us with different information than just our thinking minds. So for example, in psychology, people know about Jung's collective unconscious, this kind of storehouse of human experience that's been accumulating throughout time. And imagery is a way of tapping into that. Or many indigenous cultures have a way of tapping in, and they talk about accessing what they call our original instructions.
Original instruction.
Our original, what it means to be human. We're still learning what it means to be human, because we're just using a little small part. So what I like to introduce with imagery is not saying to not use our thinking mind, it's valuable, but to add to it this part that has gone dormant. And that's so much a part of how we've gotten out of balance, because it's that deeper part that feels and senses our connection to the earth and plants and people in a different way.
And we have the opportunity to use some tools that you created. So is it possible to explore even ourselves more conscious about being in touch with the original instruction?
Yes.
And then it is a intersubjective possibility of work with.
Yes. If it's appropriate and if time allows, I'd love to even guide something here.
We will love to.
I think it's more effective than talking about it to offer it. So would this be a good time?
Yes,
to take
I
maybe
think it's
5 minutes?
perfect time.
Okay.
So what do you? It's usual exercise from your experience, or what you choose for?
Yes, I'm going to invite us to go through a brief relaxation, because that also helps us quiet the mind, and then offer suggestions of how to listen within, and just to move into a deeper state of relaxation and notice what comes up. So it'll be very simple. So
maybe to do some background piano music.
Sure,
yes?
That would be lovely.
Okay, thank you. So I will go to the piano.
Yes. And I'd just like to invite anyone who is listening to this now, if possible, to just be free of distractions, to turn off your phone and close the door if you can, and just give yourself a few minutes here. So I'd like you to either allow your eyes to have a soft focus or close them. And just bring your mind to the rhythm of your breath. Notice the way your torso expands as you breathe in and recedes as you breathe out. Very simple. Every breath in is bringing fresh oxygen and energy, so welcome in the breath. Invite in this gift of oxygen that travels to every cell in the body. Medical research tells us that every breath out is a cleansing breath, a releasing breath. So both parts are equally important. We're filling up and we're emptying out. And just feel how ancient this rhythm is. We see it in the ebb and flow of the tides. We see it in the waxing and the waning of the moon. We see it in the daylight and the evening. Conscious breath, equal on the inhale and equal on the exhale, is really balancing. And just see if you can notice any subtle shifts just with this beginning practice. And every time you exhale, invite your body to relax a little more. Just like you could make a fist or soften your hands, you can soften your eyes, your jaw, neck and shoulders. You can let relaxation flow into your arms and legs. Just letting go of anything that might have accumulated. Feeling a little clearer with every breath. And now a very similar thing with the mind. Bring your focus to your mind, similar to the way you did with your body. And just see if you can sense how expansive your mind is. Where are the edges of your mind? feel into how big it is and let it stretch out. And for a few moments, whatever thoughts come into your mind, just let them travel through the way birds would fly through the sky. Doesn't matter what it's about, they just come, they go. Being aware of the space around your thoughts. And then bring your focus to your emotions, wherever you sense that part of yourself. And just noticing, like the way you noticed with your body and noticed your thoughts. Create a space for them to come and go. Don't have to control anything. And now I'd like to invite you to allow an image to form for a place, an environment that would support these relaxing feelings. It might even deepen them. This place could be indoor or outdoor. It could be very familiar or imaginary. But let it be a place that's welcoming and safe, inviting. And once it starts to take shape, notice the colors, the textures. What's the temperature of the air? What season does it seem to be? Are there sounds or a particular quality of silence? And what about aromas or scents in the air? Pick a place to really enjoy it for a few minutes. You could be sitting, reclining, walking. It's up to you. And notice the qualities of how you feel here. This place had a message. What would it be wanting you to know? What's it reminding you about being alive, about who you are? And as we prepare to close, know that you can return here at any time in a similar way. And you can also carry with you anything that felt valuable, helpful, interesting, meaningful. Bring it with you now, back into the room you're in. Start to feel again your body and the flow of your breath. Notice the air in the room. And when you're ready, opening your eyes again.
Thank you for this journey. So simple in a way, but we are not we are not looking in, we are not connected, looking inside and connecting with ourselves.
Yes.
Zapping always outside.
Yes. And you know, this is just one example. It's a good one to start with because it's usually very pleasant and relaxing. But once you get familiar with your inner terrain, you can explore anything. You can explore, why does there seem to be a pain in my back? You can tune into it and let it communicate to you in an image. You might have to make an important decision, and you can tune into a way that intuitively you lean one way or the other. It has remarkable applications.
Body response, kinesiology, it's a kind of kinesiology.
Yes, it is like that.
Yeah. So in our daily life, when we feel pain or stress in our body, we may talk with ourselves and try to make an image.
Yes, because here's a really simple example that most people can relate to. You know, if you are worried or upset, maybe you're imagining a difficult conversation you have to have with someone who's not going to be very receptive, and you remember and you picture what the last conversation was like, and you're imagining what it's going to be like. If you pay attention, your heart rate goes up, your hands might get sweaty, there's tension in your neck. So what we're doing is we're using the same capacity. What are we imagining? What stories are we telling? And if we reverse it, the pictures also provide a physiological response. So that is, and it's measurable. This is why they allowed imagery in a hospital, is because if we had the right machines, we could see that there's different chemicals that are released in our body, different blood pressure, our nervous system responds differently. And rather than just being at the mercy of wherever our mind takes us, we can begin to really work with it and know we have more of a choice.
Shall we do a small exercise with it here and now? For example, if I feel a pain here, I don't know, kind of muscular pain or something. On this morning, and sometimes, so I have to try to connect with the pain, and then to imagine.
Yes. Do you want me to talk you through a mini version of how it would be?
Yes, please.
All right, so close your eyes and just feel that relaxation that we did a moment ago. A few breaths. Feel that settling in and relaxing. And now, with your awareness in your body, go right to that area that you were describing in your torso. Really feeling it, sensing it from the inside out. And even trace the edges of it with your mind, with your awareness, as if you could draw the outline. And as you do that, I'd like you to keep your eyes closed, but speak aloud to me how big it is and what the shape is.
The first image that comes through my mind, it is something colored with some red.
Okay.
And the shape, I was thinking on something like a machine, but it looks more like a vegetal thing. So a red, not quite structured vegetal thing.
Okay.
With, like a field.
Okay.
Like a large field.
Okay.
And this is, I don't know, a plant which is in the wrong place.
Okay, okay. Good, let's stay with this a little bit more. So this red kind of plant that's in the wrong place, describe the sensations. Is it burning or tight, or what do you feel?
it's kind of pushing,
Pushing.
insistently pushing,
Insistently pushing.
and not renouncing to this kind of pushing.
Yes.
With a certain frequency, it's there.
Okay.
As is this plant, tell me, you see, I have to be here. It is my territory. You have to move it.
Ah, okay. And what's it like for you to be hearing that from the plant?
Now I think of this plant, why she considered that is her place
It's her
inside me.
Well, I'd like you to go ahead and ask that plant why she believes that.
And she told me that, in fact, she belongs to me.
Okay.
So she is there from quite a time, but I have not paid attention to her. And now she has to do this in order to make her
known. To get her
Yes,
attention.
yes.
And so what is it that she wants you to know now that she's got your attention? What else? Why does she need to be there?
Because the field becomes so windy,
Ah, okay.
and she needs more care and more sun and more water.
Yes. And what's that like for you to hear? That's what she needs.
She's right.
Okay. Is there a way right now you can offer some of that, the water, the nourishment, just for a moment? Okay.
Yes. It is like a child who is hungry,
Yes.
and I'm too busy to see this.
Yes. And how does she respond as you offer this care right now?
Become green.
She becomes green. And how does it feel when she's green?
Yes, now she is not anymore a red something
Okay.
plant, but she become as the field,
Okay.
re-entering in the field.
Yes. And what about the physical sensation? Is there still a pushing feeling?
Since I start talking, speaking, I feel no pain.
No pain. The pain is gone now. Well, we'll close this in just a moment. But is this a relationship you feel like you're willing to continue? To meet with her and provide the care she wants?
Yes.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
to do it, otherwise
Yes.
she will become red again and tell me,
Yes.
you have to stop, you have to do something different.
Great. Okay. Just acknowledge that, and when it feels complete, you can open your eyes again.
Yes. Thank you.
You are welcome. I'm so glad you were willing to do that, because it really demonstrates more of a sense of the depth that can happen. So it went from a pain to no pain.
You guide and allowed me to take my time. We usually are not taking our time.
Yes.
And those vegetal metaphor came directly. Yes.
Immediately.
Yes, immediately.
It's so amazing.
And it's so Pachamama connected.
It's so,
Yes.
and it's such a faithful process. Once people try, that immediacy of the communication is there. And the other thing I just want to highlight is I didn't offer you any like what it looks like or what should happen. I just facilitated for you to be in touch with your own guidance. Yes.
I was thinking now, it's very important to connect with the other one, with other, not to feel by being only ourselves, you see.
Yes.
So I was thinking that it's an energy flow between your kindness, your care, and the plant, the red plant.
Well, I won't deny it, but I also want to give you the credit for attending to what arose in you. But you know, there's a very interesting book that I think speaks to what you're saying. It was written by 3 psychiatrists called A General Theory of Love.
What a title.
And they talked about there's part of our brain called the limbic system. And they say that our limbic systems start to align with each other, kind of like in music, if you pluck a string and another instrument, the airwaves travel and start to vibrate the same note, called sympathetic, sympathetic resonance or sympathetic vibration, and that our limbic systems start to do that. So that's another way in a way to be of service, is the more we attend to our own calmness, groundedness, we communicate through being. It kind of goes back to dance in a way. You know, it's not always have to be verbal.
Yeah. So, Leslie, the dance of our life, you continue to dance with joy.
I do feel joy. I feel gratitude. I don't know why or how my path came the way it did, but I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful to offer what I can and participate. But there's a funny thing, I can't really take credit for it. I know I've worked hard and all those things.
As if you are not you in a way.
Yes. I don't know how it came to be, really. You know?
A question, stupid question.
No.
Do you believe in what? Do you believe, in fact? And believe is not the word.
Right.
It's an experience.
It's an experience. I guess the best way I could say it, because it's not any particular system that I know of, is that I just have learned that if I pay attention in the ways we're talking, if I share what I learn, that things continue to unfold. That there's just this dance with life, that there's this process where I've learned to listen, and I know that the aim of listening is to share and to help others listen. And if I just keep doing that, things transform. And it's everyone's capacity. That's the most important part. It's not something particular.
Yes. Wow. I think we only have some 5 minutes left to go. And allowed me to offer you, even though it's in Romanian, but the publishing house is for you. And it's Deepak Chopra, and it's the Book of Secrets. Today we opened a Book of Secrets.
Yes, we did.
I was asking you about, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. About your work. So you are working 12 hours a day, and some weekends also, full weekends.
Yes.
But you are not tired. You are not getting ill of so much work, and you have three jobs in a way to do.
Right.
And you were telling me something very important, and it's connected with speaking with ourselves.
Yes. It's I mean, I will say I do take times just to rest and all that, and I try and have a balance, but there's not, to me, there's not a firm line in a certain way between working and not working, because if I'm present, if I'm curious about you and what this moment is offering, that's kind of what I do at work, but it's kind of what I want to do as much as I can.
Yes.
You know, it's all life. And so I find if I can bring presence and curiosity and interest and exchange, is it work? Is it play? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be present and to enjoy and to be in balance each and every moment of our
Yes.
precious life.
Yes, exactly.
So, thank you, Leslie Davenport, for having the chance to meet you, even though we are not in California.
Well, I hope you visit sometime.
I hope.
Yes.
It's a beautiful land and beautiful people, and there.
As is here. I've really enjoyed it, and I want to thank you for creating this space and this opportunity for everyone to benefit and learn and grow, and for what you do.
Thank you, and highly waiting to hear you tonight in Spearhead University, presenting us your very remarkable knowledge about our heart and our deep imagination. Thank you again, Leslie.
Thank you.